Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Showtime with Mike and Tyler. Welcome to Showtime with Mike and Tyler. It is week 4 of Maple Leaf Pro. If you're not counting our initial show, which I don't, because technically that was part of Count It Out.
Yeah, I don't remember half the early shows.
But we're excited. This is the go home show, man. We're go home to the pay-per-view. Pay-per-view is set, even though it's not the aerial date on the podcast. In the kayfabe world, is set for December 31st, so that they're going to go into the new year right after that pay-per-view. So we have a lot to do this week, man. We are starting off with Mauro Ronaldo standing in that ring, and he is standing underneath a 12-foot high ladder.
Ooh!
And he has a mic in his hand. He says that ladder is there for a very good reason. He says at the pay-per-view, because of the pushing and the persistence of Tessa Blanchard, he knows he has to do a lot of work for the women's division. So this ladder is going to help them decide the very first women's champion at the pay-per-view. There will be a 6-woman ladder match at Blowout Hideout. And we will be announcing these 6 competitors later in the show. He says, enjoy the show tonight. And before he leaves, Lufisto's music hits. She comes to the ring. She shakes Mauro's hand and thanks him for the opportunity to be here. And she says, honestly, I'd love to beat the crap out of 5 women with a ladder, but I'd like to take my name out of that match. And Mauro's very confused. And she says, I didn't come to another promotion to just destroy another women's division. I came here to prove that I am the best wrestler in the world. And the way to do that is to wrestle the best wrestler in the world. At Blowout Hideout, I want to face Will Ospreay.
Wow.
The crowd pops, and we go to commercial.
Interesting.
When we come back, we're with Bill After, and Bill is with Josh Alexander and Jeff Cobb. Josh is pissed, and he wants to know who those 2 masked men that attacked him last week were. Cobb blames Josh for their loss and says if he didn't get distracted by those guys, they would have won. He says that he didn't do Jeff any favors. He should have listened to Jeff and just stayed to the side and not wrestled, and Jeff could have taken those 2 guys on his own. And Mauro comes out and says, you know what? He says, we're going to find out tonight which one of you deserves to go to the main event next week or at the pay-per-view. Tonight's main event will be Jeff Cobb and Josh Alexander, and the winner faces AJ Styles at Blowout Hideout.
I love that. I love that both of us are making title shots mean something, not just handed out.
Absolutely.
I like that.
I mean, because Jeff Cobb has worked his way up here. Mm-hmm. And while Josh has as well, Jeff deserves that shot, right?
Absolutely. I like we both have similar booking there. How I'm booking Okada in my promotion. Yeah. He's been winning and Cobb's been winning. I like that.
We go into the 4-way Tunney contendership match. The winner will be facing Jonathan Gresham at the pay-per-view. And it's Josh the Woods Goods versus Tonga Loa versus Mance Warner versus this week's Canadian Open Challenger.
Ooh.
So not only does he get a chance for a contract, if he gets his contract, he gets to face Jonathan Gresham to possibly become the very first Tunney championship.
I mean, it sounded like a win until you said that he had to fight Gresham, and then I'd be like, I don't know.
Well, if anybody has a chance against Gresham, it's this man, Speedball Mike Bailey.
Wow, I love it. Newly signed to Impact Wrestling. Speedball Mike Bailey.
Absolutely. And just had a banger of a match at Crossbody against Ben Ortman's in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So they go, it's really, let's be honest, man. This match is Mike Bailey versus Josh Woods with Mance Warner and Tongaloa kind of there. They wrestle the shit out of this match. But Mike Bailey is the second person in history to win that contract.
I love it. Back-to-back weeks. Great addition to the roster.
And then and he gets that contract, and he's going on to face Jonathan Gresham at the pay-per-view. As he's walking out, Jonathan Gresham appears on the stage, shakes his hand, nods at him, and says, "We're going to do this."
It's a hell of a match at the pay-per-view.
Gresham grabs the mic and then says, "I want to prove that we're going to start this title right. The Tunnies loved professional wrestling, and we are going to show them the respect that they deserve at the pay-per-view by making the Tunny Championship about professional wrestling." He drops the mic and we go to commercial.
Nice.
When we come back, it's time. Finally, it is time for Ben Ortmans to get his hands on Matt Cardona. Ben comes to the ring, and this time, Matt Cardona shows up on the big screen, and he's sitting in his car. He says he's stuck in traffic. He's not going to make it in time. He's really sorry. He says, mate, we'll figure something out another day. Well, this time Mauro comes out. This time Mauro's mad. And says, Cardona, you've been playing these tricks. You've been evading Ben along. You've been sneaking around. You've been escaping long enough. Well, at the pay-per-view, at Blowout Hydro, there will be no escape for you, because you will be trapped with Ben Ortmans in a 20-foot high solid steel cage.
I love it. I love that we've both got cage matches going on right now.
Absolutely.
Can you tell we're friends or what?
And if Matt doesn't show up for this match, he is no longer contracted to Maple Leaf Pro.
That's fantastic. I love this. I've loved this angle. It's been highly entertaining. And just for the record, for everybody listening, or like all four of you, whoever, I don't care. Mike and I, we don't tell each other anything about our shows leading up. So it's just by pure coincidence that we've kind of booked Okada and Cobb similar, that we both booked a cage match at the same time. It's pretty fun stuff here. I like that.
Absolutely. Our next match is Colby Corino versus Mance Warner. Just a exhibition match, just to show what both men can do. With Petey Williams on commentary.
Love it.
Petey keeps putting over Marco, saying that Colby cannot be taking Marco lightly. He cannot be. Anybody who knows Marco Stunt doesn't know Marco Stunt. Saying the Marco that they know before is dead. The Marco they're going to be getting at the pay-per-view is a much different person. He's been working day in, day out with Petey Williams at his personal training center. And we are about to see a brand new Marco Stunt at Blowout Hydro. Colby Corino comes up with the win. Petey Williams gets in the ring and asks if Colby is ready. Colby laughs and leaves. Mauro comes out and announces the 6 women competing in the 6 women ladder match will be as follows: Jordan Grace, Taya Valkyrie, AJ Lee, Charlie Evans, Alexia Nicole, and Allison Kay. Another thing is announced. The winner of this match will go on to the very next episode of Maple Leaf Pro to face the number 1 contender, which will be the winner of Natty Neidhart and Tessa Blanchard.
Nice.
To show what kind of commotion we're going to get in this match, Mauro says we're having an impromptu 6-man tag. It's Jordan Grace, Taya Valkyrie, and AJ Lee versus Charlie Evans, Alexia Nicole, and Allison Kay. As you can imagine, none of the women get along very well. It just turns into a melee. They all beat the shit out of each other, and there's no clear winner. We are on to our main event. It's Cobb versus Josh. The reason why there's not a whole lot this week is because while I don't have a lot of description for it, you need to understand this would be a long match.
Yeah.
These are 2 of the greatest wrestlers going today. They're going to have all of the match. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They have a great, just technical match. It starts getting very hard hitting. Josh, every time Josh thinks he gets one over on Cobb somehow kicks out of it. Every time Cobb thinks that he's just used his raw power to destroy Josh kicks out of every pin. Each man doesn't know what to do. This whole time, by the way, on commentary has been world champion AJ Styles and Mr. Canada himself and Prince Devitt. They're both doing commentary. At one point during the match, Devitt gets up and starts taunting Josh, telling him that, I got one over on you. You haven't pinned me yet. I've pinned you. Josh starts going out of the ring to attack Devitt. Cobb grabs him when he's not looking, throws him straight into the Taste of the Islands, slams him down, and pins him. Jeff Cobb is your number one contender going on to the pay-per-view.
Nice.
Mauro comes out and says that he's sick of this interference from Devitt. While he's very proud of Cobb, and Cobb will be getting his championship shot, Devitt has no choice but to go up against Josh Alexander at the pay-per-view in a no-holds-barred match. Josh will finally get his due, and if Devitt tries any way to get out of this match, then the consequences will be dire. When Devitt asks what that means, Mauro smiles at him and says, "You'll find out. Test me." Cobb shakes Josh's hand. Cobb leaves. The champion and Devitt haven't left yet. Josh waves to the fans. The two masked men jump into the ring and attack Josh, beat the crap out of him. The AJ Styles and Devitt both get in the ring. It's a 4-on-1 attack on Josh. Jeff comes back, tries to help, doesn't work. It's 4-on-2. They now have weapons. Both masked men have brought crowbars with them. They make short work of both these men, just beat the crap out of them.
Oh my God. I know who they are. It's Marvin Harry. Is it Marvin Harry from
Marvin
Home
Harry?
Alone?
Exactly. It's the Sticky Bandits.
The Wet Bandits.
Yeah. So while they're laying down there in their blood, AJ stands over Jeff. Devitt stands over Cobb or Alexander, and the two masked men stand on both sides. And the masked men pull off their masks to reveal the Good Brothers as we go off.
Oh, that is not where I thought you were going with that. Too sweet, baby.
So looks like we have a Bullet Club reunion.
Wow. You know what I thought you were going there, and you got one over on me this week. I thought that it was going to be Tama Tonga, and I
have plans for those guys. I wanted to slowly build my version of the Bullet Club.
I did not see Gallows and Anderson coming there, and I was putting some thought into adding them to my roster, and you snatched them out of me. They were talking with me, and they pulled an AEW and an Impact Wrestling here, and
there you go.
Never get those Good Brothers. That is a very too sweet ending. I love it. I love the Bullet Club reunion.
And that's the way we go off for the go home show.
Wow. So now what's going to happen at the pay-per-view? What are the Good Brothers going to do? They're going to be with AJ. They got Devitt. That's a powerful, powerful ending to a great build of the pay-per-view. I'm excited. You have my money for the pay-per-view. Blow at Hido is going to be wild.
Blow at Hido. More say I love that day.
Yeah, I love it.
Not to mention opening a pay-per-view to that theme song is going to be phenomenal.
1,000%. I might take I might take the chance on the copyright hit and try to play it. Oh, that's sweet, man. I'm excited for the pay-per-view. I can't wait to hear that in a couple weeks. Next week on Cal Wrestling, we're going to get the cage match with Hangman and Roman. Tag title tournament is going to continue. What is the fallout going to be with the debut of Ibushi? They pulled one over on Brock Lesnar last week. Lots of stuff happened on Cal next week.
Absolutely. And after what happened last week, I cannot wait for next week. The way you debuted Ibushi was one of the greatest things I've seen in professional wrestling in the last few years. And this is not even, I can't even see it. Like, it's incredible.
Well, if you want to know more, Billy Red Ryans would tell you, don't you dare miss it.
And we'll see you at the matches.